Hello and welcome to this video, and I'll be telling you who I think will be qualifying from semi-final number 1 the morning of the show.
A disclaimer. I hadn't addressed this before because I had hoped that the EBU would come to the correct decision by now, but since they have not, I do need to address it myself. Israel should not be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. If Russia hadn't been banned in 2022, maybe we'd be having a different conversation right now, and on a personal note, maybe Eurovision wouldn't have become such an important part of my life, but this is the reality that we are living in, so this is the conversation that we are having. Regardless of what you think of the current atrocities happening in Gaza, intentionally cutting off other people's access to food, water, and electricity is abhorrent, not to mention the act of killing. If you think governments and broadcasters should be considered as separate entities, consider the situation with Russia again. There is a video explaining why Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate linked in the description, and the creator also calls to action about what you can do yourself. Please watch that video and do something. Further resources are also listed as and when they become relevant. I'll stop talking about this when it stops being relevant.
I haven't got any online or offline accreditation, so I've only seen what's publicly available, the up to 10 official photos and the TikTok clip from the first rehearsal, as well as the 30-second official second rehearsal clip. Not seen any more, but I am maybe slightly biased towards some of these acts because I did manage to film some interviews in Copenhagen for Eurovision Insider. There were some complications, but I did manage to get some, and I met some artists out on the street in Malmö. So I'm maybe slightly biased towards some of them, but I don't think it should impact my rating that much. So here we go. In the 15th spot, I've got Moldova. This does look very pretty, but I do not see this staging as enough to elevate a song that is so nothing to me. I think Natalia Barbo does perform it very well, but the song itself isn't really something that I see qualifying to the Eurovision final. In the 14th spot, I've got Iceland. This is very pretty. Hedda Björk does a great job at performing it as well, but there's nothing that happens in the staging really, and I'm just not really seeing this as a finalist either. In the 13th spot, I've got Azerbaijan, which I am biased against because I haven't heard it much this season. I don't think they should really be participating. Maybe casuals will get it though and vote for it, so I'm not as sure that this is a non-qualifier as the other two. In the 12th spot, I've got Cyprus, which I'm slightly worried for because it is opening the show. I don't think it will do much, but once again, maybe casuals will understand this, but I don't quite. It has actually fallen. I did have it as a qualifier back in March, so maybe there's still a chance. And however much it pains me to say this, I do have Slovenia in 11th, just not qualifying. I'm worried that casuals will not get this, that the staging is a bit too static for that, and I hope I'm wrong, but I am trying to emotionally prepare myself in case I'm not. In the 10th spot, I've got Serbia. I think the pretty flower at the end will convince enough people, and it's a very pretty ballad. Seadora sings it very well, so I think this one should be making it, even from the second spot running order. In the 9th spot, I've got Luxembourg. I think this is fairly safe, to be honest. I'm just slightly worried because we don't know how people will react to Luxembourg at the contest, but they've done a pretty good job at elevating the staging, and I like that Tally is now apparently wearing her hair down and not in those braids, so I think this should be a safe qualifier. In the 8th spot, I've got Australia. This seems to be controversial. A lot of people think that it's not going to make it, but I think there's lots of culture on stage. It's very colourful. I think the crowd will make the energy go up, so I think this should be making it, really. In the 7th spot, I've got Portugal. Very, very pretty, and even if not everybody will understand the staging, I think a lot of people will. My grandma understood that she's telling a story, even without seeing the visuals, only hearing the song, so I think there'll be a lot of people who do get it, but I'm not so sure. But starting from the next one, I'm pretty sure these will be making it. There would have to be something pretty bad that happens for them to not. I think Poland is making it in the 6th spot. The staging is a lot. To me, it's a bit messy, but maybe tonight it will click once I see the whole performance. And obviously there's diaspora help, but I think this would have gone through just about even without diaspora help, because it's theatrical and it's a very basic poppy thing that a lot of people can get behind and nobody's going to get scared off by, which is not something that you can say about the next song, which I've got Ireland in the 5th spot. It's so professional. Bambi Thug can be so proud of themselves and their team for getting this together. It will look so cool on the TV feed. I've heard there's some great camera cuts, and I've not completely managed to avoid spoilers, so I do know what the ending looks like, but I think this will be great. In the 4th spot, I've got Lithuania. I think this is also pretty safe. He has a great vibe. The performance is spectacular every time. Like, something horrendous would have to happen for this to not qualify. In the 3rd spot, I've got Finland. This is obviously a televote magnet. I think it's qualifying pretty much certainly, and then it won't do much in the final because there'll be stuff like Joe Skine and Croatia again, and we will rave for the 90s feel, so I think it's probably making it and then not doing much. In the second spot, I've got Ukraine. This is obviously very pretty, and you know, even without the situation, people would be voting for this. So Ukraine has a perfect qualification streak every time they've been in the semi-final. I do not see this not qualifying. This and number one, I am basically certain of. Number one being Croatia, obviously in the conversation to win. So if it doesn't qualify, it would be a massive upset. That would be devastating. And Baby Lasagna has only been getting better every single time that he performs it, every single time that he does this. I've also heard that the camera cuts are now better than they were in the 30-second clip, because I was slightly worried about that, but apparently they've cleaned it up. So I do not see a world in which this doesn't qualify. I think it's probably needs to win the semi-final in order to have a shot at winning the final, but I think it's going to do that. So I think it's pretty safe. So they have my qualifiers prediction for semi-final number one. I'm excited to see how right or wrong I was. I am slightly worried about Slovenia not making it, or maybe Portugal could not make it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But as like the middle block between Portugal and Cyprus, I'm really not sure about who's making it. The rest I'm fairly sure in. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. That goes something out of it. I'll see you in the next one where that shows up on your feed. Bye! Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. That got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one where that shows up on your feed. Bye!